Hello and welcome to Arco Iris Ranch. My name is Bree, and if you're new here, we are gardening in Texas in Zone 8B, and it is now mid-October and time for our October garden tour. So this morning I got out here and I got a bunch of stuff planted and I can't wait to show you guys. So let's go ahead and start the tour. We are going to go ahead and start inside the actual garden fence today. We do still have a good amount of color showing on the outside here, but we'll circle back around to this. So I am so excited to show y'all, especially this first bed right here. Now it may not really look like much, but what I've done is I've planted all those beautiful pansies that I showed y'all a couple videos back. I planted them in a grid right here. And what I've done is I've alternated the black ones with the different purple and pink colored ones we have. Look at this one. Absolutely beautiful. So they are a little scrawny right now, but those should fill in and look really, really pretty and fill out the whole middle of this bed. Now, surrounding the whole exterior of the bed, those are all snapdragons that I started from seed. And then the only other things in this bed, we do have a royal carpet alyssum right there. And then I do have another royal carpet alyssum right there that I started from seed. So these snapdragons, I started 20 of one variety and 20 of another variety, but I didn't label them. So I don't know which variety is which, but I planted all the same ones in this bed. So these are either all going to be the apple blossom ones or they're all going to be the heirloom mixed ones. But I can't wait to see what colors we get. I'll put a picture on the screen of what the two varieties are going to look like, and I can't wait to see some flowers. But this bed right here front and center, I am so excited to see it fill out and get some color. This bed over here is also filled with plants that I started from seed. Now, they all look extremely rough, but they are still alive. So down the right side and then over here on down the left side, those are all the pink Swiss chards. In the front row right here, we have our red acre cabbage. There's one there. There's two there that got eaten. There's one right there that got eaten. You can see it just ate it off to a little nub. This one right here still has a leaf, but you can see it got eaten right there. So they were sitting on my back patio and either my cats or something else ate them. So I figured I would go ahead and get them planted outside and see if they do anything. The next row back, that is one of the royal carpet alyssums. We have three of them. That one right there and then that one right there. Now, for all of those in the back, I know they are either kale, broccoli, or... well, I think that's it. Yeah, those two things. But I don't know which one's which. I really think that these ones might be the broccoli, and then those like spikier edged ones are the kale, but I'm not 100% positive. And then we do have a royal carpet alyssum right there and a royal carpet alyssum right there as well. So all of these are kind of a mystery in the middle and the back, but we'll see what they are once they actually start growing. I kept stressing myself out thinking that I was late starting all of my seeds for fall, and it turned out I actually started them all way too early. And I mean, you can tell those seedlings do not look very healthy. They're kind of long and straggly, and then I set them outside and then they got dry, and then it got 40 something degrees last night. So it's just been kind of a stressful situation for these seedlings. However, they are alive. So I went ahead and just planted them all out here in this bed, and fingers crossed, hopefully they all survive. So now let's go ahead and take a look at one of our other beds. So moving next to this bed, I did end up putting one of the tall obelisks here in the middle. So we're gonna have some beautiful things growing on that. But what I've done in the bed is all the way around the perimeter, those are all the other variety of snapdragons that I grew. So again, I don't know which one's which, but we'll see once they start blooming, but those go all the way around. And then I did actually grow some cilantro from seed. So it's technically two seedlings right there, I think. Yeah. So there's two cilantros right there. And there's also two cilantros over there on the other side. And then what I've done is I've grown chamomile from seed and planted one there, one at that corner, And then you can see one at that corner and then the other corner as well. So we'll see how those do. And I do plan on doing some lettuce down in the middle over there. And then we have some Royal Carpet Alyssum on this side. And then I also did a copycat and did some Royal Carpet Alyssum on this side. So everything in this bed was started from seed inside by me. Same thing with this bed. And same thing with this bed right here, besides the pansies. I sowed over 100 seeds and none of my pansies grew, but it's okay because we bought some really, really beautiful ones from a local nursery. It's that one, and then I just love the black ones. I mean, I love all of them, to be honest. They're all just absolutely beautiful. But hopefully one day I can say I grew these from seed as well. Now let's take a look at this bed. Looks quite a bit different. Quick refresh of what was in that bed. So we had the gold flame honeysuckle in the middle with the tall obelisk. Then we had the ginormous fig tree in there. That was a mistake. I don't know why I ever planted that in here. And then we had the 3 blueberries, but we actually took those out and put them into pots. And then it had some marigolds in it as well, but those basically were just dead. So the plan was to move the blueberries, remove everything else, move the honeysuckle, and also move the fig tree. Well, I think I know why nothing in that bed has ever grown good at all. It's a 4 foot by 4 foot raised bed, and it's about a foot tall as well. That was basically one big, ginormous, square root ball. I cannot believe the root system on that fig tree. That was just absolutely insane. And so when we finally got it out, we cut some of it off. But the spot that I was going to have my husband move that to, I know it's very, very rocky, and even digging a tiny hole for our little 4-inch peppers that we planted was a pain in the butt. So I decided, because I didn't even like the way the fruit tasted, I just threw it away. So don't come at me in the comments for that. I did want to save it, but this is not our forever home. And I originally was like, well, maybe we'll move it over, or after I realized we weren't going to be able to plant it into the ground, I was like, we could put it in a different raised bed that I know that it's going to stay there long term, but then it would just do the same thing, and then it could, you know, choke out all the other plants I put in that bed. So I made the hard decision just to get rid of the plant completely. So with doing that, now this bed is completely empty and I can plant whatever I want in it. But unfortunately, we tried to save as much of the dirt and shake it off as possible. It wasn't happening. So yeah, I ended up losing a whole bunch of dirt, and I was planning on just topping off the bed. I actually ended up putting 2 whole bags of dirt in, and you can see the level of it. It's still nowhere near being full enough to plant. So I wasn't expecting that, so I do need to go get more dirt to fill that up before I can actually plant in it. And that might be the bed that I put my carrots in. I haven't decided. But the other 2 beds haven't really changed since my last few videos, but I do just want to show you real quick in case you missed those, what the last 2 beds are looking like. So we have the empty one right there, and then we have that one with all the self-seeded zinnias in it, and then the tall obelisk, and then that one over here still has the Sparleton mixed bee balm, Colorado mixed yarrow in the middle, and then all the oregano, and then a marigold back there. And then in case you missed the video, these are our 3 sad looking blueberry plants. This one right here is a Vernon blueberry, and we have an Accolon blueberry, and then that one over there is a Tift blue blueberry. So they are all alive, and hopefully I can keep them that way and maybe actually start getting some blueberries again. The back bed, I did not plant anything in that yet. We did get it topped off, but I haven't done anything into it yet. Now I do plan on doing onions and Austrian winter peas to grow up the trellis. That is the plan for this long bed right here. I do plan on direct sowing a whole bunch of seeds. Like I know all my carrots, I have some lettuce, salad mix, kohlrabi, bok choy, and I can't remember what else, but I know I have a few other things as well that I want to direct sow. So we'll be doing that in the near future. But my main focus was getting all of these that were in the seed starting trays and in pots into the ground. So that's everything for the inside of the garden fence. Now we're going to go ahead and look at the outside. Everything on the outside is kind of the same, so I'm not going to spend too much time, but we do have something missing. The Rose of Sharon was down in that hole right there, and I did move it. So this corner is just left with that iris over there that never bloomed, and then the salvia. And then we do still have our ginormous hibiscus. I won't be cutting that back until later in the season, but I also want to go through and collect all the seeds out of all of these. Those balls in there, those are the seeds. So I am going to go through and take off all of the seed pods, and then we'll cut it back later on. Next to that, we have our salvia in here, and then our rock rose, that the blooms are all closed right now. And then our rose right here. Now, you can see there's no leaves, and I think it's because of those things right there. I despise grasshoppers. Because of the grasshoppers, I think that's why it has no leaves at all whatsoever. I don't want him to jump on me. It does have leaves over there on that side. It just hasn't made it to it. But yeah, it has eaten everything. But there is new growth up there. See that right there? Oh yeah, look. Here, look. Another grasshopper. And then this rose, I need to get up there and get it trained to go down over the trellis. But you can see it has not been eaten as much as the other one over here. And then we have our Pavonia rock rose over here as well, followed by salvia. We have a Dusty Miller down here, an ornamental onion, a vintage vibe yarrow, and then my head over heels hibiscus over here on the end. Same thing, we won't be cutting it back until later on this year, but I do want to go ahead and save all of the seeds from it and try to grow some of those. We have our lemongrass over here. And then if you missed our recent video, I did add some stuff to the iris bed to try to add more interest to it other than just in the spring. So we added lemon coral sedum, and all the lemon coral sedum is doing really, really good. I added 3 echinaceas, not looking very good. You can see more irises here. Lemon coral sedum looking good. More lemon coral sedum, and another sad echinacea. And then I did realize this salvia is a white salvia. A creepy bug on it right now. But it's not a purple salvia. So I'm glad I waited until it actually bloomed, because if I had put a purple one over on the other side, then they wouldn't have matched. But a beautiful white one here. And you guessed it, another sad echinacea. And a really good lemon coral sedum. And a ginormous, let me stand back to get the full effect, a ginormous lemongrass. Absolutely love lemongrass. Echinacea or coneflowers, they grow wild here, and I can't keep one alive to save my life. I have no idea what I'm doing wrong, but all the ones that I have grown ever since I started gardening all end up looking like this. So does anybody have any advice? I thought previously the reason why I was killing them is because I was watering them too much and then watering them overhead, and I read somewhere or watched somewhere that that was not good for them. So I tried to be more careful and didn't water them too much, only actually watered them if they were showing signs that they were like wilting. And I don't know, they still look crispy and ugly, so I don't know. Fingers crossed one day I will master echinacea or coneflower, but today is not that day. So now we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the other side of the fence right here. I do wish I had gotten out here just a few days ago, because my Beverly Rose had some beautiful buds on it, or blooms on it, excuse me. And it was extremely tall. It's also got some weird bugs eating the flowers as well. But this rose bush, I cut it back every winter, and it grows huge and wild and beautiful, and I absolutely love it. So I'll go around through the peach tree here, down underneath You can see the rose. Look how tall that is. Down underneath the rose, the lemon balm has gone nuts, and I absolutely love it. I do want to trim the front because I think that looks a little weird coming out the front like that, but I love it. And then I do need to go ahead and just pull all the calla lily stalks like this because they're done, and it would look a lot prettier without seeing all of these. So they're really easy, but I gotta do that. We have some salvia over here. I'd ripped out all that down there. This salvia is extra big, super beautiful. Started all this from seed. We do have some zinnias that self-seeded from the zinnias that I planted here earlier in the spring. Look how tall the pincushion flower is. Like, look at that. That's extremely tall. But the pincushion flowers are putting out tons of blooms, and I absolutely love these flowers. Now, I still have not done anything to the rose bushes. So let's see. You see all the wild craziness? Those are my 2 rose bushes that I got from my sister, and they have not put on any buds at all whatsoever. So much growth, but not a single bud. So we never got to see what color they were, but that's what those 2 things that are going all crazy are. I need to trim those back. Got the salvia down there. My husband did pull out all that dead zinnia bunch that was right there. And then I do still have what I think is goldenrod growing. I think I'm allergic to it though. And then we follow it up with, oh, real quick, those bugs. I don't want to get too close. I don't want it to land on me. Focus. It's not going to focus. Oh, there it is. That bug right there, I think, is eating a lot of my plants as well. But down here on the end, we have a beautyberry. Now she is looking a little rough. You can see the leaves are changing colors. But look at the beautiful berries. And you can see, I think the birds are already starting to eat them. Oh, Lordy. Well, I found my spider. I thought she was gone, but she just moved right there. Whew. I'm gonna jump back. I thought a bug just landed on my tripod. But that's it down here, just the beautyberry. My plan for this side of the garden next year, I'm going to leave the main focal plants like the Beverly Rose, the beautyberry, the pincushion flowers. I may or may not leave those other roses in here because they never bloomed. I don't know. We'll just kind of play that by ear. But my plan next year is to have so many of those little mini Lilliput zinnias and the salvia that I had started. I want to start even more of those and just pack this whole side full of that in between those main plants that I mentioned earlier. This whole area in between the garden and the chicken coop is going to completely change and be really, really beautiful soon. But you're gonna have to wait to see that. You can see it's nothing but grass right now, but that is about to change. And so now we're over here by all the chickens, and I wanna show you the 3 herb beds. I'm calling them my herb beds because eventually I want them to all 3 have herbs. But currently this first one still has some watermelon vines, and it does still have some flowers, but no fruit in there, and I honestly don't expect to have any fruit before the frost. We'll see. I'm just going to leave them for as long as I can. And then we have the irises in the back. Now this bed did get something new added. I added the honeysuckle. We'll talk about that in just a minute. So this bed has barbecue rosemary. It has creeping thyme. Another echinacea that looks better than the other ones I showed you, but it is looking kind of sad. It has rue. The garlic chives did get scorched a bit, but they are coming back, so that should be okay. This down here is the sweet English, or no, just sweet lavender. And the catnip looks a little rough as well. But back to the honeysuckle. It's a gold flame honeysuckle. It's the first time I think I've said that correctly. And she looks rough. It had the woody branches down on the bottom. It was all tangled up into the obelisk, so I ended up having to cut it off. And yeah, fingers crossed. We'll say a little prayer and hopefully she survives, but I don't know. But my plan is to use like fishing line and trellis it all the way up and around the window. That is the long-term goal. And then the last bed over here on the end also only has watermelon vines in it, although I do plan on putting herbs in here eventually as well. And it does still have the remnants of the irises as well. We are watching our cats have caught a rat, but they're not killing it, they're just playing with it. Let me get closer. I'm wondering if Ghost is trying to teach Megatron how to hunt, because I know Ghost can catch stuff. She's caught lots of rats, lots of mice, and she's even sadly caught a blue jay, but my other ones have not. I don't even know where Soap is. But yeah, so I kept hearing squeaking. I looked over here and yeah, they're playing with this rat. So enough of that, let's get back to the tour. Just past the herb beds, we have this pot right here. So I had gladiolus in them. I bought like pastel colors and they grew up red. You can see they have started to come back, but those probably aren't gonna bloom before the frost. But this right here, I believe is a Texas vitex tree. You can't tell because it doesn't have any blooms on it right now, but before I dug it out, it had the pretty purple or blue blooms on it, and we actually found it over on the other side of the garden over there. So we dug it up, put it over here. It immediately transplant shocked and lost all the leaves, but you can see it's looking really, really good. So hopefully it continues to do good. Around the corner here, we have a rose, and we do have some color on it. Look at that. And then we have another bud right here. This one is Sexy Rexy. Took me a minute to remember, but it's doing really, really good. This is its first year being here. We have a lemongrass in the pot, and then we have another lemongrass over there in that pot. Don't think I'm going to be growing those in pots anymore. They just did not do as good in the pot as they did in the ground. I guess I never actually took y'all up on the patio to show y'all anything I had up here. Now, things do look a little rough. This whole thing is a work in progress, but let me show you what I have up here on the patio. Here are the 2 geraniums that we transplanted into this pot. Took them out of an arrangement and put them in here, and they've actually started to bloom again on the patio. So I'm excited about that. I still need to get that mum planted, and I actually ended up with a couple extra pansies. So we're gonna plant this one and this one with the mum in a pot. This does look rough, I'm gonna say it again, but we have some petunias right there. This right here is the, what is that one? That one's the basil. That one's the eucalyptus. This one's the stevia, and I think I killed the chocolate mint, unfortunately. My pond does look a little bit rough, but I'll give you a peek at it. We still are working on that. Slowly, oh, I do have a willow tree growing in my pond as well. All of its new branches right here. And then these are all the hibiscus that I started from seed. We up-potted them today, and they are looking really, really good, so I'm very happy about that. Not done, and I plan on adding more pots and more beautiful plants, but it's getting ready to go into winter, so I'm not gonna worry about that right now. I'm just gonna worry about that in the spring. So now we're over here on the master bedroom side of the house, where I get to show you some really pretty things. There are definitely a bunch of improvements I want to make to this side of the house, but I think we are off to a good start. So down here, this is the paradise rose, and unfortunately most of it has gotten eaten down to sticks, but it is making a comeback and it has some new buds on it. So fingers crossed that looks beautiful again soon. This is a new one. This is the Russian sage, and it does have some really pretty color on it, and that should get pretty big right there. That one I just added not too long ago. In the bed here are the 2 crepe myrtles. They are looking a little bit rough, and I don't have my tag with me right now, but I'll put the variety name on the screen. But it is all budded up and about to have some beautiful color. And you can see that's what it looks like when it is actually in color. And you can see this side over here is about to just explode with color. Here is the Rose of Sharon. I got it moved right here, and I apologize for the noise. I'm by the AC unit, but I'm hoping I can have better luck with this plant right here. And we do still have the original fig tree that I originally had in the blue pot, but we transplanted it in the ground. I had 2 pepper plants over here that I pulled out, and then there is still 1 pepper plant right there. And I gotta find something to plant in this empty spot right here. This was where that other fig tree was gonna go. I remember we trashed it. Now my Zephyrine Druin climbing rose, she is wild and extremely tall. Look at this. Look how far she sticks out though. I have to duck under it to walk to the hose. Now I did have a flower on it the other day, but of course during the tour there's not one. But I need to fertilize it, I need to do some trimming, I need to add a wider trellis and try to get this thing under control. Down here, this one is still looking kind of sad. Well, this branch looks like it completely broke, unfortunately. But this right here is the Texas sage. And then we have a butterfly bush right there. We have another garden spider. We have, I think I counted 10 of them the other day. And then this is my favorite. Let me back up here. This lemongrass has taken up the whole corner, and I absolutely love it. And then once all those other plants do grow in, it's gonna look really, really nice. Just gotta trust the process and trust that it will look good in time. There's not a whole bunch in front of the house, but I do want to show you, we do have a mint plant right there. These are those 2 pots that we just did together with the, I can't remember what they're called again. Lyrope? I don't know. I'll put it on the screen because I don't remember what it's called. But there's those 2 right there. We have another mint plant right there. Another spider right there. And then this huge thing is a wild blackberry, but I haven't gotten any fruit off of it just yet, but I'm hoping to soon. And then the last bed I want to show y'all is this one down here that y'all have not seen in a while. So this bed has had a whole bunch of different things in it. What are you doing, Soap? So this is all mint. This is a crepe myrtle. And that back there is a jasmine vine. In this bed last year, I planted a jasmine in the middle. I planted some, I think they ended up being sedums. And then I also planted some heucheras. And most of that died. And then I put a bunch of mint in there. The mint took over the entire bed, which I was fine with. That's what I wanted. And then that started looking kind of and then the jasmine I thought died, and I was like, okay, this is just not working. So what I had my son do, I didn't pull out any of the plants. I just had him completely fill the bed with mulch. I know that sounds weird, but had him completely fill the bed up with mulch. Then I dug a hole in the middle, put just regular general garden soil in there, and planted the crepe myrtle. As you can see, the mint has come back and the jasmine has come back, and I don't know. The other ones might come back, but I highly doubt it. But I didn't think the jasmine was gonna come back. I knew the mint would. That thing is wild. Now what I do is whenever I do see it like start growing out the sides or hanging over the edge, I do just cut it or pull it off and just throw it back in the bed, because I don't really want it to seed all over the ground or root in all in the ground and take over my yard. But I'm okay with it taking over the bed. Ghost is still playing with the rodent, but these 2 have not learned to earn their keep yet. But it's okay because they're cute. Well, you guys, that's it. I think I've shown you everything that I am currently growing on the outside of my house right now. If you're not already, make sure you subscribe so you can keep up with the new projects we're going to be adding to our to-do list soon. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next one.